night. So you are here to learn how to get 6 clients in 6 weeks using 6 really awesome strategies. Some of them you may never have really thought about before, and they're all practical. They're all very low cost or no cost. These are things that might push you outside of your comfort zone, but isn't that the point in starting this amazing journey upon graduation? So I would just love to know first, you can type in the chat, when are you graduating? So give me a month, or some of you maybe still have over a year to go. So let me know, when are you graduating? Anna says in August. Nice. Should be August. Yes. Fingers crossed for you. What about the rest of you? August. Nice. Okay, so we got a bunch of people from the same class here. I know I recognize a lot of you. Anybody else? Elaine, when are you graduating? I'm not sure. I've done my exam. Oh, you're just waiting. Wow, you're getting there. Can't say. Yeah, okay. So, all right. So we got some people who are ready to go probably and get clients in the very near future. And we have some people who maybe it's a little further off. That's why I recommend take notes, ask me questions, okay? I'm here to support you all. Use this time to type questions in the chat as I talk. Save them for later, doesn't matter. I wanna hear from all of you at least once in this practical, okay? So let's get started. If you do wanna tag any portion of this presentation today, you can find me on almost all social media platforms at Kelsey Rydell. So I love connecting with you all outside of class. Feel free to connect with me as well. So here are some of our goals for the night. So number 1, I want you to learn the 6 strategies that are tried and tested, I promise, that you can implement right away in order to get clients and ultimately grow the brand awareness of what you're about to embark on, right? You're graduating as a registered holistic nutritionist, but does anybody know about that? Do you have people lined up at the door waiting to work with you? Do people even know that you've spent the last year studying, right? So I'm going to teach you some strategies to start spreading the good word. I want to show you that it is very possible to have a thriving nutrition business in your first year of practice. There is a common myth that building a practice is hard. And yes, that is true. It's challenging. But that is not to say that if you don't put in the work, you can't have an amazing practice, right? So I want to really get that, that mindset shift going, that you don't have to struggle just because it's your first year of practice. If you're getting out there, if you're using tons of unique and fun marketing strategies, of course you can get your and you can have a fully booked practice. Oh, somebody is slurping something.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm gonna mute you. And I want you to get inspired and ask questions so that you can find all the success that you desire when you launch. And guys, when I say success, I don't necessarily mean monetary success. For some of you, having money in the bank is what is going to define kind of your urgency to get this going. But for some of you, it is the act of helping people, of sharing your gift with the world. So whatever success looks like for you, I want to make sure you can find it with ease and feel confident that you know how to get clients, that you didn't just graduate this program and go, what the heck do I do now? Okay, we want you to feel equipped. And yeah, the business course at CSNN, I teach it. It's super quick. It goes by in 2 days. Is that enough time to teach every single principle you'll need to get clients, retain clients, have people on your wait list at all times? Not necessarily, but attending practicals like this can really help to elevate the knowledge that you have around building up a successful practice, okay? Of you I know already because I taught you your business fundamentals class, but My name is Kelsey Rydell. I graduated from the Yonge and Eglinton campus in 2013, 2012. Always get my year wrong here. And I did practice for a couple of years, started building an online business, and then ended up going to work for some major health food and supplement companies, working in sales and marketing. And ultimately that led me back to wanting to launch my own business. And so now I focus predominantly on coaching health and wellness entrepreneurs, specifically in the areas of marketing. So how can they work with more of their dream clients, right? Because you are all so talented, and I would hate for those talents to go to waste because you can't figure out how to get people in the door, right? You spend so long studying at CSNN, but if you're not really thinking about the business side of how you can make this work as a career, then it might not work out. And that's the last thing that I want to see. So this is a quote from one of my favorite authors, favorite marketing gurus, says, "You have brilliance in you, your contribution is valuable, and the art you create is precious. Only you can do, and you must." So I'm going to talk a lot today about the fact that all of you have something special within you. There's a reason why you went to CSNN. There's a reason why you decided to fork over the money and put so much time and effort into a program, right? There's something, a deeper why that pushed you into wanting to learn about holistic nutrition. These are all things that are so, so vital to uncover before we even try to get you clients. Because if you don't know what makes you different as an RHN, why would somebody pay to work with you? Why would they pay to work with you when there's hundreds of other RHNs graduating this year alone? But I really don't believe in saturation. I believe that when you know what makes you unique, what your brilliance is, you stand out. You are in a league of your own. Like I was saying, all of you have such incredible talents. You have the heart, which is pictured here on the left. You have the heart to serve people and to share your knowledge of holistic nutrition. But there's this little wrench on a keychain here. There's another vital component to doing this as a business, and that is the mechanical piece. So yeah, you're good at sitting down with people and talking them through their nutrition problems and filling out their lifestyle assessment and all that. But without working on the back end of your business, knowing how to get new clients, knowing how to keep the ones you have, how to make people rave about you, you don't have the chance to do what you do best, right? So there needs to be a balance of heart and mechanics in the early days. And so tonight we talk about the mechanics. What are some of those key pieces that you need to do as a practitioner that will allow you to make money and find success doing what you're really good at, which is, helping people with their struggles around food. However, I always like to show this picture because no amount of good marketing will sell a bad product. So yes, I promise that I can get you clients in 6 weeks. But if your service is not good, if you're not confident in what you're delivering, if you're not going to get results for your clients, I cannot help you. You need to really hone in on what it is that you can do, how you can help somebody achieve a transformation. This picture shows Pepsi AM. It was a Pepsi product that was launched, and it was supposed to be a morning beverage. So drink it in the morning. It's a little less sugary. No amount of marketing could sell this, and it didn't end up sticking around. So just a reminder to you that, again, having a good product is first, getting clients is second, right? So you need to know that what you sell is really, really freaking awesome. Okay, so let's jam on this topic before we get into the 6 strategies. There is a superpower inside of you. My question is, do you know what it is? Do you know what you're good at? what you are uniquely good at. Because if you don't, then nothing sets you apart from everybody else on this Zoom call. If you don't, then you put yourself in the rat race with every other RHN who's fighting for clients right now. What we do as nutritionists is a commodity. We give nutrition advice, right? A commodity is something that is mass produced, like coffee or wheat. And I don't want you to be a commodity in our industry. I want you to be highly differentiated because you are. Your life experience makes you so, so different. So again, why bother trying to sell your packages and get 6 clients in 6 weeks if you don't yet understand what sets you apart? What sets your package apart? I have a little photo here of a North Star. So way up in the top left-hand corner here, that one that stands out, the one that shines bright, the one that is different than a different spot. It's not clustered with the rest. That should be you when you look at your business, when you look at your program, your service. So I want you to take a minute to think on some of these questions. What problem do you see exists that needs to be solved? Because entrepreneurs, people who get clients, are problem solvers. So what problem do you see exists that needs to be solved? Think about that. It's a very important question, because if you can solve a problem, you have a business. If you do not know the answer to that question, you do not have a business. You need to go back to the drawing board. What has your life taught you? Your unique life experience is something that nobody can duplicate. I promise you that. Nobody can duplicate your life experience. We can all agree on that. So what is it that your life has taught you? What did you learn at a young age or in your teenage years that you could teach to another? What is your greatest success? What's something you're so proud of? Maybe your greatest success is going from a meat eater to a vegan, right? Maybe that's something you can teach to others. And often our greatest gift is tucked behind our biggest wound. So something that you struggled with or were bullied for or made fun of as a kid can often turn into something that you're meant to bring forward in your coaching practice. If anyone has any comments or anything they want to share on that, then please feel free to share in the chat box. Again, I can teach you all the strategies to get clients, but if your product or service kind of sucks, then why is anyone going to want to come work with you, right? So the magic formula here is when you have a great product or service and you know who to sell to, your potential is infinite. You can get more than 6 clients, okay? A really good product or service, you know who to sell to, the people come through the door. So the principles that I'm going to teach you, they are not new. They are marketing principles that have been around since the dawn of time. People always ask me, Kels, do I need Facebook ads? Do I need to grow a massive email list? And the answer is no. You need to be awesome at what you do. You need to get your clients to achieve some transformations. So they go from feeling really tired and lethargic to being an energetic, ball of fun. That's a transformation. And you need to know the basics, okay? You don't need to be doing complicated things like Facebook ads. That doesn't work in the early days. Much of the work in getting your first 6 clients actually begins with mindset work. So I would suggest doing something every single day to build your belief in your product or service. Build your belief in what you do. Because if you don't believe you can get 6 clients through the door in 6 weeks, I guarantee you, you won't. It'll show through. It'll speak loud and clear in the way that you talk about yourself and your services. You have to speak with conviction, like you already have those 6 clients, right? Act as if. Visualize yourself with those clients. Okay, so here we go. 6 ways to get your 6 clients in 6 weeks. So week 1, the first thing I want to share is over-delivering on value. We are service providers, which means we get paid by bringing value to the marketplace. We need to know what that value is. And it's really hard to sell a service when you don't actually have some sort of physical product to share on a shelf, right? You're not saying, buy this amazing Sharpie, here it is. Do you want to touch it? Do you want to feel it? Do you want to hold it? See it on the shelf? You're not saying that because you don't have a physical product. You're selling a service, which is intangible. So what do we do to sell a service? Well, one thing we can do is share content around what our service is. Talk about what you do with blog posts, with marketing opportunities like speaking on stage, sharing more about your beliefs, why you believe what you believe when it comes to nutrition, why you eat the way you do, why you think the way you do, what foods you believe most people should be eating more of in their day, what should they be eating less of. You need to offer value to people so they understand what your expertise is. So my suggestion to you, and it's never too late to do this or too early, pick one type of short form content and deliver it daily. And pick one type of long form content and deliver it weekly. So let me explain those. Short form content is something that you can quickly produce in 5 to 10 minutes, okay? Short piece of content talking about how to blend a smoothie. A long piece of content could be a step-by-step smoothie guide with all of your list of, nut milks, talks about what veggies you can add and, the different proteins, and you end up making like a beautiful visual guide and you post it on your blog, okay? So that would be short form versus long form content. And the reason why we would do this is some people learn best in micro chunks. Other people learn best by reading and they want to know everything about you. They read everything that you post. They want the long article in the magazine. They want to see the research, right? Yes, Lily.
Sorry, what was the example you used for short form?
So short form content, and yeah, we'll dive into this a little deeper. Short form content would be something that you could create in 3 to 5 minutes. So that would be something like a Facebook post, right? Maybe you made a brand new muffin recipe and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna snap a photo of it and post that it's 1 cup of almond meal, 2 eggs, and baking powder, bananas, blah, blah, blah. And that's short form content. It took you barely any time to do and the world can see it. Short form content could also be something like, it could be creating like a quick Instagram post or a video, 2-minute video talking about why smoothies are your breakfast of choice. Something super short, easy to create, micro format so that anybody could read that in a minute and understand more about who you are and what you do.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. So now I want to pass it over to you. What would be some ways that you, as a nutritionist, could share long form content? So I gave a couple examples. And what are some ways that you could share short form content, like little bits and pieces? You can get creative here. Maybe sharing short form content to you looks like tapping on your neighbor's door, giving them a fruit basket and saying, here's why I put this fruit basket together for you, and sharing the different antioxidants that are in it. Maybe that's short form content, but like the goal is to share about who you are, what you do, what nutrition is, to get people familiar with the fact that you even studied at CSNN. What if people don't know? You need to be adding value, sharing your knowledge publicly. Otherwise,
Can I share?
Yeah.
I just put a blurb on LinkedIn about when all the COVID stuff was going on about immunity.
Awesome. That's a perfect way to share short form content. Super quick, easy for you to put up, right? It probably didn't take you too long.
No, you don't want to put too much up because you're going to lose the reader.
Well, exactly. And that's why we do both short form and long form. And I would suggest to all of you, have at least one way that you do short form content every day. Have at least one way, maybe it's a podcast, that you share long form content. Where are you actually opening up and sharing the details? Guys, marketing is teaching. So what are you teaching right now? What are you teaching to someone else? Because somebody is going to hire you to be a teacher to them for nutrition principles. So can everyone type into the chat box either an example of short form content, so type in SF and then the example, or what would be an example of long form content? Type in LF and then your example. Like I said, you could write LF podcast, because a podcast would be a great way to share long form content. So type into the chat box now, and it says short form Instagram or any social media. Yeah, exactly. Social media is a great chance to share a quick nugget of info. Carly says maybe posting something in the newspaper. Yeah, if that doesn't take you long to write, do your local paper. Long form emails and newsletters. Yeah, it's a great chance to open up in an email. Long form lunch and learns at the library. Yeah, any sort of workshop is a long form piece of content. And I hate to say it, but you should be doing it weekly. Videos, yeah. A blog is long form, yeah, you got it. Blog could also be short form, yeah. You could do micro blogs. I love the idea of that, just doing quick nuggets of information. Awesome examples. Short form TikTok, yeah. Facebook posts, amazing ideas. So
I was speaking with someone recently though who was saying that blogging is like a really lot of work and is more beneficial for keep staying connected to your existing clientele, but not necessarily beneficial to generating new.
That's a really interesting, an interesting point. So blogging does have incredible potential in putting you at the top of Google searches, because Google draws on SEO, so search engine optimization. So it's trying to always pull the most current results. So imagine you have blog posts on all sorts of topics that people are searching for. And as you start to populate this website that becomes more and more robust, because you've got 100 blogs over the course of 3 years, Google is seeing that as a website that is relevant, updated, and has a whole boatload of key search terms. So they're actually going to show you before somebody who has no updated content. So I would beg to differ on that one. It's not a quick fix to getting clients, because if nobody's going to your website, who's reading your blog? But long term, my oh my, you can have some incredible results with ranking on Google, which is very important.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't see the results from it at first, but after I put up over 100 blog posts, I was completely amazed at how I rank in Google, and I don't pay for Google ads.
It
So
makes a lot of sense.
yeah, and I
It's
know
like a long-term strategy. Yeah, I get it.
it is. It's like, it's the marathon strategy. And I didn't even do it for that reason. I was just enjoying writing. I was actually producing podcast episodes and then writing show notes. But the show notes had enough keywords like marketing, email, social media, all these keywords that Google's like, yep, she talks about business, put her higher. So I would definitely suggest to all of you, if that's something that you like doing, try to find a way to add content to your website on a weekly or monthly basis. Keeps it fresh, makes your website more relevant. Any other questions on the idea of sharing value on a daily and a weekly basis with short form and long form content?
Is it really necessary to do it daily?
Great question. So the reason why I say short form content daily is because it should only take you 3 to 5 minutes. And I think there's a lot of value in showing up with consistency and frequency. One of the first marketing principles that I learned was that frequency breeds trust. So when consumers start to see something more and more and more, they automatically trust you more. So I say daily because that gets you in the habit. If you want to do, 5 days a week, do that. If you want to do every other day, do that, but do it with consistency.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, if that's going to drive you nuts, like I'm not the type of person that's like, you have to produce a Facebook post every day because, your sanity is much more important. But just getting in the practice of sharing your little nuggets. I have a friend right now that's doing a daily video, a daily Facebook Live for 365 days. His results right now are massive. Like, he's got so many people watching them. The first one, nobody was watching. Second one, nobody. The 300th one, hundreds of viewers, right? And lots of people signing up in his program. So pretty cool opportunity. Okay. Let's go to strategy number 2. So another way to land your first 6 clients would be market research calls. Now, I know this might sound obvious or maybe boring to you, but the idea is reaching out to people who might be your dream clients, so the people you think you might want to work with, and asking them if you're able to spend 10 minutes on the phone, on Zoom, asking them a few quick questions. So you might lead in with, hey, I'm thinking about launching a meal prep service here in Toronto. I'm looking to speak with a few people who I think might be able to offer me some insight on what the meal kit should look like. Do you mind if we got on the phone for 10 minutes so I could ask you a few questions about your lifestyle and what would make most sense to put in these meal kits, or what the portion sizes should be? So doing market research calls. You can ask them, just say it's part of a school project I'm doing, or I'm thinking about launching a business. I'm in the early stages and I'm really looking to collect data. And you were someone that popped into my mind. The great thing about these calls is that you get to listen to the exact words that come out of their mouth. So if they say, Elaine, I get to 6 p.m. every day and my kids are frantic and they're always asking, where's dinner? When's dinner coming on the table? And I just wish there was a solution. Well, write those words down, because that's coming from the direct mouth of who your client could be. So then when you go to advertise your new meal kit service, you might say, are you sick of the kids at 6 p.m. asking, where's dinner? What are we eating? And you say, I have no clue, right? So market research calls allow us to get to know our clients. So never be afraid to reach out to people who you think might be a target client of yours and ask them for their time, right? Most people They love talking about themselves. I get asked to do these all the time. I got one today. Hey, would you have 15 minutes for me to ask you some questions in the next few days? Matthew from Archangel and I are looking to potentially do a program together for entrepreneurs, and we would love some quick feedback. My answer was, yeah, no problem. This is somebody I know. I know Brian. I got an email back in April. Hey, Kels, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. I have a few questions for you, but know that it's been a stressful time, so no pressure or expectation. So here we go. Here's what she says, and you can use this too. I'm exploring a business idea that revolves around helping solo entrepreneurs and small business owners tackle some of the less sexy but necessary admin aspects of doing business, like filing HST, blah, 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 blah. I wondered if I could interview you about your own experience with navigating this part of running your business. I'm reaching out to friends and family to do a little bit of discovery / prototyping around if and where the need lies. If you have 20 to 30 minutes to connect, let me know. Again, no pressure. So yeah, I said, sure, no problem. I'm happy to help out somebody else, knowing that, they have aspirations to start a business, and maybe I can share something, a nugget of wisdom that would be valuable to them in the early stages. So my question to you is, are you doing these? Who have you reached out to? This is an amazing way to plant the seed of what you're getting up to, because you'll get on that call, you'll explain, hey, I just graduated. I'm thinking about launching nutrition for busy families. And then you get into that conversation, and they may end up saying, you know what, Kanika, when you launch this, please tell me, because I actually think I need it. It happens quite often. So I want you to think, who would you reach out to host market research calls? I want you to think of a few people in your network. Because if you want clients, you need to be hosting some of these. Even if that person that you talk to is not the client that's going to sign up for your services, they may get in a conversation with their friend the next day, and you'll be like, and they'll say, actually, you're complaining about your nutrition. I just talked to my friend Saiful the other day. He's just graduating. Why don't I connect the two of you? Any questions on market research calls, why they're important, how it can help you to get clients, what I'm asking you to do? No? All right, let's go to strategy number 3. Next strategy is to teach a masterclass or a mini course, okay? So there is a framework inside of all of you right now, something that you can teach to another human being. So what is that little framework that you feel like, if somebody was struggling with this, I could have them not struggle with it anymore by teaching them this principle? Somebody is struggling with acne. I can teach them which foods aggravate skin conditions. So let's show them the path from struggling with acne to getting clearer skin. So I'm going to teach that framework.
I have a good one. A lot of people complain about sleep.
Yes. So you can teach them how to sleep better?
Sleep hygiene, yes.
Love it. So you may teach a masterclass on sleep hygiene. 3 ways to sleep deeper tonight.
Yeah.
How awesome.
Mhm.
So this is especially a good idea if you can create some sort of mini version of your bigger package, okay? So maybe you're planning to do a 1-month nutrition coaching package for your clients. Well, maybe they don't want to dive into a month with you because they're still trying to feel out, are you the right nutrition coach for me? Do you really know as much as you say you do? So why not teach a mini version of your bigger package? So maybe your bigger package is like the sleep overhaul, and you teach people in their 30s and 40s how to get a deep night's sleep using nutrition, supplements, and lifestyle recommendations. Well, maybe the mini version is simply 3 quick tips to sleep deeper tonight. You don't go into all the nitty gritty, but you give them 3 actionable things that they can do. So this is kind of like a portal into your bigger offer, right? It's a way that people can kind of get to know what it is that you're about to launch. It's also a good way for you to build confidence. It takes a lot of the pressure away because it's just a masterclass. It's not like a full commitment.
What if what you're teaching or what your masterclass isn't exactly related to what your final nutrition product or service is?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say as long as it's under the realm of health, wellness, betterment, improving somebody's life, just get out there and teach, right? It's such a good way for people to be intrigued by a topic that you're excited about. And then it's like the portal to what Lily does. It's like, I signed up for your masterclass, but now I liked what you taught, so I'm going to learn everything else that you offer.
So maybe I could give you a real life example. Like, how would you
Yeah.
segue into like that thing, right? So with the whole COVID thing, I don't know if you remember, but like my background is a scientist in microbiology. And so through doing other things, I started to do talks about how to keep safe and like the very sciencey stuff.
Yeah.
And people want to know how to keep safe because, you know.
Yes.
So how would I then let them know that, hey, I'm actually doing this thing now? And science is just my background.
So you mean now I'm doing this thing as in
The nutrition stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there is some overlap in the people who wanted to know how to stay safe and in the people that could be your nutrition clients. At the end of the day, you are building a brand, and a brand has many different components. Sometimes you will talk about current events and safety and what's going on in the world. And it's kind of the gateway drug to learning more about what you do as a whole. So yeah, there may not be a direct correlation. Like if you're trying to land clients in 6 weeks for your nutrition package, you might want to talk more about nutrition or boosting your immunity. If there's no correlation between the masterclass and what you offer, you might not get a direct drip of people coming from the masterclass to work with you because it's not really calling in the right subsector of people. But if you call in people who are struggling to keep their immunity high in the masterclass, and then your coaching is about general health, well, hopefully that sends them right in because they've already expressed interest that they want to boost their immunity using nutrition.
Right. Yeah, because I think like the group that I'm thinking of, which I'm going to do with this weekend, they're cancer survivors, and so immunity is very important.
Yeah.
But I think my only I was second guessing, and I'm so glad we had this practical scheduled for today because I wasn't sure then are people going to think, wait, you kind of do everything? Is that good or a bad thing? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I totally understand what you mean. In the beginning of your practice, it is okay to be more of a generalist in terms of you're just trying to put the feelers out, see what works, throw spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks. And that might logically lead you to want to niche down. But I mean, speaking to, you said you're doing nutrition for cancer survivors
no, that just happens to be the audience for this weekend.
Okay.
It was just whatever, but my whole thing had nothing to do with cancer people at all.
Mm-hmm.
It had to do with the high-end people who are fitness focused, right?
Yeah. So you're just giving this talk as a good way to get exposure.
Well, it's for a good cause. So
yeah. And so, you know what, not everything that we do as marketers directly leads to people finding out about us. But guess what? The people who attend that talk this weekend, they might have a friend that is interested in hiring a nutritionist. And when you are top of mind, because they just sat through your talk, they liked your energy, they liked your spunk, they thought you had a really good message to share, they are going to say your name to somebody else. So not all is lost. Yeah, there might not be a direct correlation, but you have to believe that every time you put yourself out there, somebody is listening, somebody needs your message, and somebody's going to reach out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I've done so much stuff like that where I'm like, what the heck is going to come out of this talk that I'm giving? These are not the people that I work with. But always, like, either you meet someone, or it's like a very heartwarming experience, or I don't know, you leave with a new best friend. There's always something within it that's going to help you grow your business.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so what is a masterclass? A masterclass is about an hour. Can be taught online or in person. Could also be called a workshop, mini course, whatever you want to call it. And it gives somebody a quick win, right? They have a quick success from attending your talk. They go from Island A. Island A is like where that dark and stormy place is. I always talk about this in business. They're on Island A, they have problems. They want to get to Island B, which is that tropical island where everyone sips margaritas and they're all happy and they don't have problems. So what can you give to get them from A to B? What is that boat? Maybe it's, teaching them how to meal prep in 30 minutes a week. That has them going from struggling to feed the family to feeling confident there's food on the table 5 days a week. Masterclass is a smaller version of your future offer, or can be, doesn't have to be. It shows the participants how to hit a few key milestones. So plan out your meals on Sunday. Here's how to shop for the meals. Here's how to prep the meals. See how that hits a few key milestones without going overboard? And it uses your existing expertise. Why might you create a masterclass? Well, besides getting your 6 clients. Number 1, it helps you to build an email list. People sign up for the masterclass with their email. And when you collect an email, it's in your database. So you can then send out communication, promos. I have a special coming up. I'm now practicing, right? Masterclass pushes you to share what you're up to publicly, right? We all need that little nudge to say, go share what you're up to. Like, tell people, talk about that topic that lights you up. Helps invite people to your world. And you could even use the masterclass as a way to make money. If you don't want to get, your full paying clients because you're still a little nervous to work with someone, why not charge $40 for the masterclass? And you give them the grocery list, you give them the all your meal prep tips, you give them all your favorite recipes and a nice downloadable ebook, right? So you can charge for one of these mini classes. So how do you create one of these master classes? Number 1, decide on the transformation, right? They're going to go from feeling like there's chaos at 6 p.m. every night in the home to feeling like dinner is served 5 days a week, no questions asked, okay? That's the transformation you're teaching, or whatever it is for you. Decide on the content. So like I said, maybe you spend 20 minutes talking about what meal prep is, 20 minutes of what to do when you get to the grocery store, and 20 minutes of how to batch cook. Decide on a date to teach it live, right? June 29th, I'm teaching the masterclass. And then you write down what's going to be included. Do a Google document or a sheet of paper or some version of a page on your website and say, what's the title of it? Meal Prep for Busy Families. A 60-minute class on how to feel better about what you're feeding your kids 5 days a week. Then you just collect the payment. If it's $40, get the $40 from people. So try to make this as simple as possible for you to recognize. Oh, sorry, I missed a few questions. Elaine, sorry, I missed your question. What are you asking on the calls? So what I would be asking on the calls, depending on what your topic is, so if you're doing market research calls because you want to work with people who have, I don't know, who have skin issues, on the call, you might say, what is it that bothers you most about your skin right now? What challenges do you face on a daily basis with maintaining good skin? When are you most upset about your skin? Or tell me about a time when your skin flared up. So you're trying to dig into what are their challenges and what are some of the opportunities that you could help them with. Ask them about their journey of what their skin's been like since they were a teenager. You're trying to collect data that would actually help you to create content around something that would actually help them or add value. Lane says, do a masterclass on what's on trend. Yes. Mini class on reading labels. Absolutely. Yeah, these things, I mean, this could be your long form content that you do a masterclass every single month, right? And don't overcomplicate it. It's you teaching, maybe the video's on, maybe you have slides, but you have to start doing this at some point. This was my very first masterclass that I taught 4 years ago. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I just decided to teach on social media strategy. Threw up a graphic that I made myself, sold it for $97. I had a 20-page workbook that was just a bunch of prompts to fill in, like what are the different core values you want to show through your social media, and how often do you want to post and which platforms. And again, it was a great way for me to put myself in the mix of, hey, I'm somebody who teaches online marketing. Before that, nobody really knew what I did, right? I kind of had to like come out of the woodwork. So if you're choosing content, you're not sure what to teach, just ask, what would give your audience a quick win or a fast success? You only have 60 minutes or so in a masterclass. What do you love teaching that your audience loves learning about? What could you easily pull together? This is not meant to be hard. If it's hard, you need to choose another topic. You should be excited about a certain topic within nutrition or wellness, right? And maybe it's something that you do in your life, you practice, you live it. So pull it together. What does your community need to be aware of, believe in, or should they experience before working with you, right? Maybe like Elaine said, you give them a quick, amazing transformation, like sleep better tonight. And then they realize, whoa, if it was that easy to get an extra hour of sleep, I wonder if working with Elaine, I could actually have deep sleep every night, okay? Yeah. What do people complain about in your industry, right? Maybe it's that the moment they hit 45 years old, they stop sleeping through the night. So listen and address that on a call or on a masterclass. Okay. Choose a date. I said that already. What gets scheduled gets done. You don't schedule it, you'll never do it. Collect the payment and over deliver. So make sure you are a rock star when you teach. Even if you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm terrified, just show up and speak from the heart, okay? So I want you to reflect on a few questions here. What's your masterclass topic? Where will you advertise it? How many people would you like to attend? What's the price? And what's the expected transformation? So go ahead and fill those out. This is an amazing way to get clients.
What's your thoughts on like doing like a free master class to start to like the people that you know, just to sort of get your feet wet and like, yeah.
Yes. Most of the time these can be free, but when you really hit on like a gold mine topic, feel free to charge for it. But I want you to use this more so as a strategy to get people in the door so that they're intrigued. And low barrier to entry would be to make it low cost or no cost. So yeah, I love the idea of doing it free. However, I do still think if you feel there's value in it and you've taught it a few times, your confidence is up, there's, you know, maybe a workbook you hand over, feel free to charge for it as well.
And what advice or guidance would you give to somebody about like creating like the workbook content and like that type of stuff that's like sort of value?
Yeah, I think people, they do feel there's more value when something is delivered to their inbox that they can follow along with. That, again, that tangible piece, right? Because what you're teaching is kind of just like conceptual. So once you build out what you want those transformations to be, write down like what are some of the things that, some prompts that you can give them, some questions that you can ask them. Are you going to be sharing a chart that you script out in the workbook? Are you going to be sharing like a certain quote or a like a protocol for what foods to eat and what not? Give them to that in a workbook. So it can be reiterating some of your presentation, but it's really nice for them to kind of have that like keepsake take home item, and it makes the class more valuable. And you can brand it too, put your logo on it.
I think you can teach something that you've overcome yourself.
Heck yeah, that's the best thing to teach, right? Because you can speak from the heart.
Mhm.
You don't have to do a workbook. If you're charging, I would suggest like think about if there's value add. I know I signed up for a like a 2020 planning workshop back in December. So the workbook is really simple, but it covered the 7 topics that we were going to dive into, and everything that she was teaching on the screen. I also had a prompt in my workbook that I had printed out that I was writing notes alongside the masterclass. Any questions on masterclass? Why we teach them? What's the point? How does this get us clients?
I like how you've broken it down to the mini and then the next and then into the master class.
Yeah.
That makes it more simple. I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Glad it helps. And we can review any of these at the end. So definitely keep the wheels turning. Okay, here's another idea to get clients. Launch a beta offer. Okay, what the heck is that, right? Beta offer. So this is when we collect people who essentially want to be test subjects for your future online course, your program, your one-on-one coaching, and you could potentially offer this from the masterclass. So we'll go back to the sleep example, right? Maybe we're teaching 3 ways to sleep better tonight. And then at the end of that, you say, and look, I'm putting together an incredible 1-month-long program. It's called the Sleep Intensive. And I would love to talk with you more if this masterclass was helpful to see if my month-long program might be a good fit for you. Okay. So we're beta testing your bigger offer because you're not going to get rich off of $47 masterclasses. That's not enough to keep you in business. You need your one-on-one coaching or your group offer, or whatever it is that you're thinking of selling in terms of how you work with somebody more intensely. So after the masterclass, they've been introduced to you. You're saying, I'm going to be starting something on July 1st. It'll be a small group, and I'm looking to get you from not sleeping through the night to sleeping really consistently through the night. Now, there will be a price, right? But the price is going to be a lot lower than it normally will be. And that's because it is my first time running it. I'm still working out the content, and I want you to co-create this package with me. So if you see something that you want added, I'll add it in real time. This is very exclusive because the program will never be this affordable again, or the option to work with me at 50% off will never happen again. So you're saying, I just graduated. I'm launching this program, which I really believe works, but I need my first few case studies. I need a few people to tell me how awesome this is. Are you on board or not? Okay. And if you can clearly communicate what the outcomes will be by the end of this month-long program, you'll have energy again. You'll know exactly what to eat. You'll have lost those 5 pounds that you wanted to lose. And I'm giving this all to you at 50% off. Is that interesting to you? Sure. Or do it free. If you are really not confident, you need to build up your confidence, you could do something like this for free, okay?
You can promote how good sleep helps weight loss. That'll help everybody. Everybody will want to in.
My goodness, yeah, you could do a whole month-long course talking about that.
Oh yeah, cortisol.
So the challenge here is, yeah, you figured out what you want your masterclass topic to be, but when you think about your bigger offer, your one-on-one coaching or your group coaching, what is the map? You get them from where to where, and how are you going to create some sort of framework around the journey? Lily.
Sorry, just a quick question about the previous slide about the first part, collecting people, and then it says offer them this from Masterclass.
Yes, so the idea there would be at the end of the masterclass to say something like, if you loved this little class that I just taught, I would love to chat with you further because I'm just putting the final touches on a larger program. So we'll work more closely together. You'll get to talk with me every single week. I'm going to give you all my resources on how to sleep better for the rest of your life.
Okay, so you would explicitly like describe it and offer it at the end of the class.
You could, yes, that's just one option. You could also share it in a million other ways, but this would be like, so kind of like sharing this in week 1, share the value. Week 2, whatever week 2's topic was. Week 3, teach your masterclass. Week 4, try to convert people from your masterclass into being part of your beta program, because you're like, oh, you were already interested in the masterclass. Do you like this bigger offer? And would you like to join at a really low rate?
Okay, so almost you can also do it like as a follow-up afterwards as well. Okay.
Yeah, you can do it as a follow-up as well. I'm just trying to give you like some kind of flow to this. So week 3 masterclass, week 4 launch that beta group, because you already have a handful of people interested.
Got it. Thanks.
Right. So scripting out what those major milestones, again, like when you launch a program, ask yourself, what are the milestones that I want my client to hit? I want them to, number 1, understand why sleep's important. Number 2, I want them to have the tools for sleep. So getting the new pillow, getting magnesium powder, whatever. Number 3, I want them to track where their sleep is currently at. Number 4, I want them to adjust their, I don't know, the darkness of their room. Number 5, retrack their sleep and it's better. That's the beta program. Maybe it's a 5-week beta program where you run a couple people through it and hopefully get glowing testimonials at the end because you're so awesome. So again, if you're going to run a beta program, think about the problems or the challenges of your dream clients. The easiest way for you to get
dream clients.
Yeah. Very punny.
That's funny.
I love it. The easiest way for you to get clients is to solve their problems. Okay. So if you can solve somebody's problem, like one of my clients right now, she helps restaurant owners to reinvent themselves, restaurants to reinvent themselves. Right now, most restaurants are having a problem. What they're currently doing can no longer work because everything is changing with the rules post-COVID. So the problem she solves is she helps them totally reinvent. Like maybe they need to become a drive-in restaurant versus a sit-down restaurant, right? So if she knows that that's the problem she solves, then she can find clients, no problem. Okay, so the goal is to bring people together to practice sharing your expertise. So the beta offer is for you to practice, right? At low cost to the participant. So think about what your beta offer is. What are the major milestones? Because if you can communicate, you're going to get here, and then you're going to get here, and and then you're going to sleep all night, and then you're going to like dream again, then that's great. You clearly communicate what's available to them, and the people who need that support are likely to join. Plus, once you get the glowing testimonial, so at the end of the series with you, you say, could I get a testimonial? They say, oh my gosh, John was incredible to work with, highly recommended, can't stress enough how amazing I've been sleeping. And then 5 other people are like, I need to work with you. Okay, next strategy is to get chatty. So we're trying to get more clients by getting chatty. So now you've spent 4 weeks putting out content. You've asked for referrals. You've collected beta participants. You've done your masterclass. Now it's time for one-on-one conversations. So one-on-one conversations will always be much more powerful than blasted group messages. So just blasting a message on LinkedIn or just throwing an article up on Pinterest, that's great, but a one-on-one conversation cannot be replaced. Your customers want to feel understood. They want you to ask them about their life. And the best place to do that is in a private convo. So let's talk about this topic. I am a firm believer that there is 0 point amplifying your message with like a big Facebook ad campaign if you don't even know how to talk to people one-on-one and really empathize with their problems and listen to them and convert one person at a time. Because if you're charging, I don't know, like $500 for your services, and you have 5 one-on-one conversations with people per day, like imagine you converted all those people because they're like, wow, you are a truly amazing human. I can't wait to work with you. They get to know you very quickly versus just blasting a Facebook ad to millions of people, but not actually chatting with any one person. Backwards, okay? Just a little quote to lead this one off. One smile can start a friendship. One word can end a fight. One look can save a relationship. One person can change your life. One chatty conversation can get you a client. I know because it happens all the time. Okay, you start a conversation with someone and boom, they're asking you about, hey, I see you went to CSNN. Oh, hey, you can help me with my athletic nutrition? Great. And then all of a sudden they're working with you. So the power of one. Now, what we're doing is all throughout our first 4 weeks, you're trying to get people to raise their hand. So by putting out short and long form content, you're going to get people who say, ooh, I like that photo, or they comment and they go, oh, that green smoothie recipe looks awesome. That means they're expressing interest, some form of interest. They're raising their hand. They're DMing you saying, hey, that was an awesome post you put up. I really loved reading it. That's a raised hand. That's somebody who might be interested in working with you. Don't just write off that conversation. When somebody expresses interest, start a chat sequence. So anytime somebody comments or tells you they loved your email, ask them some questions. This is your opportunity to open up the sale. Say, oh, I'm so glad you loved the recipe. Have you been making smoothies? And they'll be like, no, but I've been feeling really crappy lately. And I saw a blog that said green smoothies can help with energy. Oh, why have you been feeling crappy? Well, I don't sleep. Ever since I hit 40, I stopped sleeping. Oh, actually, I'm teaching a masterclass on sleep. Do you want to come? Oh, okay, sure. You come to your masterclass. After that, you follow up. You say, hey, Sarah, did you enjoy the masterclass? And they're like, yeah, I loved it. Thanks for inviting me. Okay, well, I'm actually looking for a few people to join this test program. Are you interested? I'm not sure if it's the right time. Well, I'll send you more info anyways. Send them more info. They're interested. They're like, great, you know what? I do need to figure this whole sleep thing out. Sign me up. And then they paid, okay? Now, I'm not saying it's always that easy, but this is the way to go. Don't be shy in starting one-on-one conversations with people. If you can't sell your product or service in a one-on-one conversation, you also won't be able to sell it on a Facebook ad. So ask yourself, where can you or where are you starting these one-on-one combos? Is it on your Instagram? Is it with your neighbors? Is it at the networking events you go to? Is it in Facebook Messenger? Is it emails? Emails are great. One-on-one conversations will get you clients, I promise you. I do a lot of mine in Facebook Messenger. A lot of people still using that. Okay, week 6 and beyond. I'm going to share a fun little strategy called the I'm looking for 5 email or social media post. So the goal here is to use this exact template, something similar. You don't have to copy mine exactly, but it's calling in clients to identify themselves as somebody who needs to work with you, okay? So what we're doing, I'll show you the script in a moment, is we're making it fun, easy to read, and making sure that when your dream client reads this, when the person who's not sleeping properly or the person who doesn't have their nutrition for their marathon figured out, when they read this, they go, oh my goodness, this is what I need, okay? So the idea behind this is you're basically asking for people to work with you. I know it sounds weird, but if you don't ask, you're not going to get. If you don't clearly tell somebody what type of people you work with, they're not coming. So here's an example. I'm looking for 5 motivated athletes who want to increase energy, decrease inflammation, and spend less time in the kitchen while cooking more meals from home. So if you are ready to work hard and find simplicity in your meal plan, motivated to feel your best this training season, if you're friendly, coachable, and excited to feel empowered in the foods you're choosing to nourish yourself, and if you need a simple framework to support you because you have no clue where to begin, if that's you, reply with the word revolution in the subject line and I'll get you all the details. So you're just going to rewrite this for yourself, right? I'm looking for 5 women who are not sleeping as good as they used to, who want to find deep rest again, wake up with energy, and sleep, and have the tools to fall back asleep when they wake up in the middle of the night. So if you are sick and tired of being groggy all day long, if you are motivated to change this terrible sleep that you're now having, you are friendly and coachable and you want to feel in control of your sleep routine again, reply with the word dream and I'll get you more information. So you're literally just asking for who you want to work with. Does anyone have questions on that?
And where are you asking this?
Great question. You can post this on any social media. You could send this email to your friends and family and say, here's who I'm looking to work with. Do you know anybody? Could you share that, share this posting with them? You could share this in a blog post. You could share this in a Facebook group that you're a part of, anywhere you want.
Is there a reason that you ask them to do something, like instead of just replying, you ask them to do something at the end to change the subject?
Like why am I asking them to say the word revolution?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're looking for people who are paying attention and you're giving them the exact response. So it's literally brainless. You're not saying, send me an email. It's like, well, what am I going to say in the email, right? Like, I want help. You're asking them to just reply to the email or respond to the post with one word, done. Now I know you're interested. I didn't make this complicated for you.
Okay.
Yeah, like we're really trying to reduce the friction that people have towards saying, I need help. So I want to know, what will you write in your I'm looking for 5 email. Again, there's a template, but feel free to rewrite it as you see fit. All right. So I'm going to continue on here. I do imagine we're going to be done way before 9. So just line of sight, we will not be going as late as scheduled. So now it is your choice. How do you want to get 6 clients in 6 weeks? You can use all of these strategies in the order that I've suggested, or you could just use 1 or 2 of them and try to just get a couple clients. But the goal would be, if you're looking to really ramp up your practice, why not do them all? It's 1 a week. I really do feel you are all capable of that, okay? And if you're struggling with how to actually implement it, just let me know. Go into all of these strategies with no expectations. And what I mean by that is just tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to do this once. If it totally flops, I'm not going to force myself to do it again anytime soon. You release the expectation that this needs to like work the first time. Just say, I'm going to try it once. I'm going to teach a masterclass for the first time. No expectations. I'm going to start sharing long form content for the first time. No expectations. I'll do the 5-person email. No expectations. And then if one of them flops, it's all good. You weren't planning to redo it anyways. You're just trying. You're new to this, right? At some point, if you're not seeing clients come through the door, you may need to make a leap and do something you've never done before. So yes, these strategies may feel uncomfortable at first, but this is your job as a business owner who needs clients, right? So make that leap, whether it's the small leap into sharing a piece of content or a big leap by launching that beta offer. You never know who needs your product or service. Small steps like these 6 strategies done frequently over time are what lead you to having a fully booked practice, right? It doesn't just magically happen. It's all of the micro actions that you take to get there. And I share these 6 strategies because I see them work over and over and over again. And guess how much money they cost you? For the most part, it's like $0. So I teach this stuff because I believe you are limitless. If you want 30 clients in the next 30 days, you could have that. All of us have the capabilities to get clients, even if we don't identify as marketers or as entrepreneurs. You just have to be a little bit scrappy and patient. And if you don't start now, then when are you going to start, right? Maybe try out a masterclass even before you graduate. It's okay. You can do that. You'll never feel 100% ready.
So how do you, like, just about the timing of it, like, obviously we should start sooner than later, but we haven't graduated. So how do you kind of work that in terms of like selling something or getting people to buy something?
Definitely. So I would say do more of the free content sharing right now. However, if you want to sell something, you're just selling it as somebody who is studying at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. You are allowed to say, I am a student of natural nutrition at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition.
So if somebody wanted to, I don't know, as an example, to sign on as a nutrition client, right? Like, but you haven't graduated. So are you allowed to, I don't know, work with them or charge them?
Yeah, I mean, we suggest that you wait till you finish your diploma, just for like knowledge sake. However, you can work with anyone anytime. They can pay you anytime. You just can't say, I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. You can't say, I've graduated. You just have to say, I'm a wellness enthusiast, or I'm a student. I am a health coach. No one's stopping you from starting this journey.
Okay. And then what about, because like, I know what we did, like the whole business course about like practice and like where you are located versus where your client is located. So before you graduate, is that still a thing? Like, what if I have people in the States who are interested now? Can I work with them?
Yeah. I mean, you're not identifying as a registered holistic nutritionist, which is where we get caught into trouble, right? Because in Alberta, for example, you can't be calling, but you're just identifying as a student or as a wellness enthusiast.
Okay.
So yes, you can absolutely. There are people who come into this program who already have established health coaching businesses. Now they're just looking for the title.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so what questions do you have about getting clients? You can type them in the chat or unmute. Any questions? Did I answer all your questions? You feel confident? Okay, type yes or no in the chat. Do you feel confident you could land at least one client in the next 6 weeks if I said ready, set, go?
Sorry, I do actually have a question. I don't know if I don't think it's really related to getting clients.
Yeah.
But if you were advertising yourself or going along the lines of a life coach, but wanted to add maybe a wellness nutrition component to your programs, do you still then have to go by a nutritionist, a holistic nutritionist, or can you just say life coach and I'm adding this module?
Yeah, so you're saying, do you have to use one of our titles?
Correct.
If you do.
Yeah, sorry, if like you're not totally planning on doing just nutrition.
Got it. Yeah, no, you do not have to identify yourself as a graduate of our school. That we suggest you do that because the school has a great reputation. It's a credible, like RHN or CHNC is very credible. But if you are practicing as something different, like maybe, you know, like you said, you're a life coach or an esthetician, there's no reason why you have to brand yourself as a registered holistic nutritionist when that's not exactly what you do. Life coach is a non-regulated term, so you can call yourself that instead, and then just talk about food once in a while. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So as long as I'm not like doing all the what a nutritionist would be doing, like what we're learning in class with our case studies and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not my like main job that I provide or provide. I'm okay with just calling myself whatever else.
Exactly. And as long as when you are practicing as a life coach, like when you're asking people kind of more of those in-depth questions and that, you're not saying I'm doing this as a holistic nutritionist, because we don't teach the whole life coaching component. So you just need to correctly identify yourself. Like, I learned this in my life coaching certification.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Questions, anyone? I see, okay, only 2 people wrote yes or no. So who else? Carly Wood, could you unmute and let me know why you may not feel confident?
I think it's just that I'm a couple of things. I think that I don't know how I feel about the strategy of like the social media marketing. I'm not sure exactly what my strengths are or weaknesses in that area. So I think I need to like just kind of let the information you shared with us digest a little bit and then kind of figure out, okay, like what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and like and kind of just take it from there. So I think it's a great starting place, and it's given me things to think about, and I just got to kind of go through the process.
Yeah, and I just want to say one thing on that, that you do not need to use social media to get your first 6 clients. You can do all of this very organically. People build incredible businesses via word of mouth, and all of this can really be done using word of mouth. if you provide an incredible experience for a client, they will tell somebody about you, and that will lead to your second customer. And then when that person has an incredible experience, they'll tell somebody else. And that seeds a ton of referrals. So I don't want you to think that social media is the only way, that online marketing is the only way, because still to this day, word of mouth is one of the most powerful forms of marketing, and quite possibly the most effective.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is like, I need to take the time to step back to be like, yeah, what does make me different? Like off the top of my head, I'm like, yeah, I could think of a couple of things, but I definitely recognize I need to get really in my gut, like know and feel that, oh, okay, this is what makes me different. So that's why I feel like I'm not there yet.
Yeah. I can really relate to that too, because my first few years of practicing, both as a nutritionist and then as a marketing consultant, I was like, I have no freaking clue. Like, I'm just regurgitating what everybody else seems to be doing. And the more that I started to just be, say, entrepreneurship is a journey of self-discovery. The more you discover yourself and do work to figure out what makes me quirky, what are my talents, and the more then you infuse that into your business, the more people will be magnetic to you. And they just want to see the real you, the self-expressed you, the artist in you, because there's so many people just hiding behind a mask and talking about kale, right? We don't need more of that. That's boring. That's being tuned out. We need people who are excited, passionate, quirky, have character, who have something to shine, right? It's like, why did Lady Gaga become so famous? Because she was different. She created her tribe of little monsters. Like, people felt like they belonged when she got on stage. And that was all because she kind of knew who she was and she wasn't changing it for the world. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
Have you read the book, The Miracle Morning?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So one of the strategies or things that he says in The Miracle Morning is like, one of the things that you need to do is like, you need to like reach out to like people that know you really well and ask them to give you like honest feedback about yourself. And so it kind of made me think about that, to be like, oh, how do other people see me? And so maybe there's also something that I'm missing in all of this, because it's hard to see yourself through the eyes of other people. So anyway, it also made me think about that.
Yeah, it's such a good point. I love that you shared that exercise of emailing 5 people and saying, what characteristics do you see me, or do you see in me, or what are some of the words you'd use to describe me? Or like, for me, it was like I shared at the beginning, like sometimes your greatest gift is next to your biggest wound. And for me, people always used to say to me as a kid, you're so positive. You never upset about anything. Like, why are you always so happy? And it was a negative. It was like, we can't get to know Kelsey because she only ever talks about like what, and I never wanted to share the negative stuff, but for me now, that is what people pay me for. They pay me to be a positive coach in their life and to come up with amazing ideas and to not get stuck on, okay, your business isn't growing right now, but like, we got to think about better things. And I didn't realize that, the thing I was made fun of as a kid is actually one of my superpowers. And that is often a word that people would use to describe me. And I never thought I could infuse it into a business. But now when I look back, I'm like, I should show more people that like, this is a character trait that maybe I have that not everybody does. And it's something to kind of play up in terms of what makes me different. So definitely something for us all to think about, because I know that we are all unique, but sometimes it takes a lot of searching to figure out what that thing is, right?
You just made me have a question though. So when you say like, oh, people, like when someone has a business problem, so I guess what you're saying there is like, your approach should be like, this is a big problem. We've got to change things around. I'm not sure exactly where you're going there. What is it that you do in that situation that's like adding that value?
I think it's that I see opportunity when other people don't.
Yeah.
And I'm coming up with solutions, like fun, positive, amazing, forward moving solutions when they see past like the one client that canceled on them. And so I now sell my IP, like, and that's what you all will do as well. You're going to sell your brain power, your intellectual.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll think about how I can solve your nutrition problems. And that's what you pay me for. And so, you know, it's really figuring out like, how do you show how differently your brain thinks? And I know this is like so like deep, but I mean, at the end of the day, again, there's so many thousands of people that have RHN beside their name. So people are going to pay you for being you, and it's your job to figure out how to play up what that you-ness is.
Makes sense. Thanks.
You're welcome.